Namaskar, Chandrasekhar here, and now we have seen almost everything in our lectures so far, and we have got the idea about what are grahas, what are bhavas, what are the rashis, what they imply, how the Vinshottari dashas manifest, how they are to be interpreted, what is Jaimini, what is his opinion, and so many things, even the transits, and almost I think we have covered the basic factors required to come to some uh, prediction. Now, since many of the subscribers are also requesting me that I should speak on certain specific yogas, I think this lecture I'll restrict to basically trying to understand what is yoga and what should be the meaning of a yoga and how it can or cannot manifest and why. So, we start at the beginning as is our habit. I mean, you have been with our channel for so long that all of you learned astrologers know how I go about explaining things, and let us understand what is yoga, where from it comes, where from the word itself comes. It is yuja. Yuja means coming together of two things. It implies, as a matter of fact, if you have seen a bullock cart, there is a yoke on the neck of the bulls. In Western countries, there would be perhaps horses. This yoke binds the two bulls together, isn't it? So anything which is connected with each other is called yoga. Now, general perception and understanding, and perhaps rightly so, because I look at things in a slightly different manner, and that's why we have started this series of lectures on astrology as interpreted by me, not as told by me. That has been already told by the sages. I have no authority to claim that I am somebody who is creating a system of astrology. No, I don't do that. So, what we are looking at, coming together of some two things can make a yoga is understood. Now, what can these two things be? This could be either two planets coming together, or a certain planet occupying a certain rashi or certain bhava, or in a rashi in a particular bhava. All these things, they are aspecting each other, they are occupying each other's houses. There has to be some connection between two different things which will make a yoga. Then the next question remains is why a yoga is seen in a chart but its results are not realized to the extent expected, going by the description given about the results of the yoga, isn't it? Now my contention has always been, I think I have explained it many a times, that there are to be three things for something to happen. First, because our entire structure of our Vedic sciences is based on Trinity. The concept of Trinity is the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, and even in astrology we give great importance to the trines. Modern astrologers nowadays sometimes prefer to call it the triangles. 1, 5, 9, isn't it? 2, 6, 10. These are places which support the apex. So, my contention is there has to be three things together for some yoga to actually take place, for it to qualify as a yoga. Now, even with this, why do yogas not happen? Let us come back to the analogy of the bullock cart or the horse-driven carriage, two horses. See, if you just connect them with a yoke, nothing is going to happen, is it? They would stand as it is or they would run away. They would not carry the cart with them. So there has to be another yoke which joins them with the cart. So this is the third factor. So what is to be carried is the cart. who is to be carried? The Jataka who is supposed to stand in the cart. What is the cart? It is that chart at the time of birth. This is what we call the natal chart or Janma Lagna chart, or some people call it the Rasi chart. It is one and the same thing. Okay? The chart and the planetary position at the time of the birth of the Jataka, the ascendant being the Rashi which is rising on the eastern horizon at that point of time. Even there we need three parameters. One is time of birth, second is date of birth, third is the place of birth. Without that, even a chart cannot be drawn. So now the question is, who is to go? If this yoga is complete with 2 bullocks or 2 horses yoked together, coupled with a cart or a carriage or whatever you want to call it, this is fine. Somebody has to be there who is the Jataka. That is nothing to be doubted about. But this cart has to be guided in some direction for that yoga or yuja to happen. Unless we understand this, the puzzle will always remain that you will, I am sure most of you might have seen wonderful charts. Any astrologer would say this is great. He has 2 Panchamahapurusha yoga or Amala yoga or whatever. There are so many yogas, isn't it? To my mind, a very important part of it is to observe where that yoga is occurring and understand the bhavas first. That is why we started our lectures, I think, from bhavas. Because unless you understand where it is happening, where the fruit of the yoga is lying, and unless you go there, maybe not physically, by planning things in a way that you are as if there, the yoga will not fructify. This is one thing one has to understand. So suppose the yoga is happening in the 10th house, he has to have a career, he has to work hard, perhaps, or gain fame. Who has to do? The Jataka has to do. That is why we say when the Lagna Lord is in the 10th bhava of reputation, a person will get recognition through his own efforts. Or vice versa. Whom the reputation will go? Wherever the 10th bhava is placed. So if it is placed in the Lagna bhava, then the reputation will be of the Jataka. Obviously with his efforts, somebody has to guide that cart to reach the destination. That is indicated by coming together of these 2 people, the 2 horses, 2 planets or 2 bullocks, whatever you want to assume them to be, because visual depiction of things which are abstract makes it easy to understand. And that is why I many a times give the allegories or examples or similes and all those things, or icons, so as to make it easier to understand. That is how I have learned myself. So it is not because I think you will not be able to understand the abstract. That is how I have learned, and that is how I can only teach you, or rather impart whatever I understand to you. Teach you is a big word that is reserved for gurus. I am no guru, not even an acharya. I am just trying to convey what I have understood to all those who are interested in astrology, in learning astrology, not in looking at their chart and trying to find out. That is something an astrologer should do at a later stage when he is mature enough to understand his own pluses and minuses. So now, having understood this, then there are many types of yogas. It is not only one yoga. There are Nabhasa yogas which are absolutely innumerable. If you calculate, then you will find there are so many. There are Akruti yogas which are only because the planets are placed in certain figure. There are Sankhya yogas which are dependent only on the number of planets, irrespective of where they are. See, so there are so many types of yogas. You will find there is Dala yoga, so like on the 2 leaves, the planets are placed, and so on and so forth. These are the, let us say, the descriptive part of explaining what that yoga could be, what would be the way it manifests. Then there are the great yogas like Gajakesari yoga, always talked about Amala yoga, Kirti Amala yoga, isn't it? Then Shakata yoga, Kembadruma yoga, one of my our subscriber has asked me to talk about Kemadrupa Yoga, and perhaps in the next lecture I would talk about it if you all of you approve of it. And I hope you generally have supported me so much that you might like to understand what are my views on it. I don't say this is the final, these are my views. Whatever I am talking are my views. Whatever is wrong is on my account. Whatever is correct is on account of the sages who have told them in certain fashion, which I have understood in my own view. So then there are yogas based on position of sun. There are yogas based on position of moon. They are sometimes called Chandra Yoga. There are many yogas told by sage Jaimini in his Upadesha Sutra. We have gone through those sutras and you will find there would be yogas. And then there are other umpteen number of yoga. Maharaja Yoga is there, Parijata Yoga is there, Kalpadruma Yoga is there, and Truchaka Yoga is there, the Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga, and hundreds and thousands of yoga. And then the newly, what can I say, created or discovered yogas like Visha Yoga, and that I heard a lot nowadays. I don't find them in any classics, but they could be there. There is a Visha Kanya Yoga, which is different than Visha Yoga. And then there is the great Kalasarpa Yoga, which we used to scare off everybody. And so there are so many yogas. For how to interpret? I would say first look where the yoga is occurring. That is perhaps the place where its results will be found with more intensity. You can then try to find out in which way you can attain that yoga. Suppose say Lakshmi Yoga is there, the great Lakshmi Yoga, Mars and Moon is square to each other. If it is happening in the 12th house, perhaps that Lakshmi, the wealth or the growth in career would happen in distant lands, because 12th house is land of a distant land. It is also of course sleep, it is also jail, it is also hospital. So perhaps if he is a doctor, then the Lakshmi might come from hospital for him. So look at what is the Jataka, what is he doing, because we have been told that all predictions have to be based after thinking about the Desha, the country, the Kala, the time about which we are talking, and the Pata, the individual. All these things have to be considered to understand where the yoga can fructify. Then we are aware that most of the yogas fructify during the dashas of their lords, the planets concerned. Rather, why should I say lords? I would say the planet concerned. I would also think the Bhav Lord in which they are placed, the planets are placed, the yoga is happening. That is the time when it can, fructify. Perhaps at a time when in transit also some benefic is aspecting that house, if that is a benefic yoga, or a malefic is aspecting that house, if that yoga is going to cause problems, like yogas for death and other things which are there, like Arishta yogas. For that you will find that there has to be some malefic aspect happening at certain places. Maybe Arishta yoga I will not go much into, barring perhaps the Bala Arishta, because I don't like to think about death as the first option to analyze, because death is in hands of nobody. I think Vidura told Dhritarashtra that everybody is given 120 years as his life, because Dhritarashtra asked that, is it right or is it wrong that everybody has 120 years of life? So Vidura says yes, he has. Then Dhritarashtra says, why do people die early? So Vidura says that they die early because they cut that tree of life given to them by the axe of their misdeeds. So you have to understand this. So it is what is given, to get it you have also to do something, barring for the very young ones, which is called the Bala. They suffer because their father and mother are supposed to suffer. So since they are not active, so they will have to suffer. That is the concept here of the Bala. I would perhaps brush over it when I talk about yoga. So this is how I look at yoga. So understand, even for this card of yoga and that Jataka, to attain the yoga he has to do some karma. Nothing happens without karma. Please remember this. Yajnavalkya, the great Yajnavalkya, of Brihadaranyaka, I think, Upanishad, who was respected by even King Janaka, one of the greatest philosophers of those times, has said, Yatha ekena chakrena rathasya na gatir bhavet. As even a cart or a chariot cannot run with only one wheel. Tadvat purushakarena, similarly, without your karma, purushakarena means Purusha is always the person, purushakarena daivam siddhanti nanyatha. Similarly, without the purushakarya, the karma of the jataka, what is promised by his fate cannot be attained. So karma does play a big role in it. If we want to give the modern example of coronavirus, if you decide not to isolate yourself, not to maintain social distance, to go and hug people who are already declared as corona positive or be with them in an assembly, then even if the chart says that you have long life, you are going to be healthy all your life because your Lagna Lord is in the 8th house, or Lagna Lord is very strong, Lagna is also strong, still you will suffer and you will end up in hospital. Remember this. Please remember this. So my dear friends, this is about 16 minutes some odd seconds. I generally try to restrict myself to 20 minutes. This is perhaps the first time that I have been able to finish off this lecture, but this is because this is an introductory lecture for yogas, in order that at least yogas are first understood. Otherwise, the habit is that I have got great yoga, I have got Yoga Karaka, Saturn in X place, and so why I am not progressing in his dasha? This is a refrain that is generally heard. Or I have got great Gajakesari yoga and I have no money. Or I have Richok yoga and I am nobody. First thing, that yogas are supposed to happen at certain time. Another thing, at certain place. And the third thing, provided the Jataka also exerts himself to attain that yoga. If you are going to get a doctorate and you don't, your son is going to get or daughter is going to get a doctorate, because if I say son, then people will say that you are discriminating between sexes, nothing of the sort. That is in her, chart, that she will be highly qualified or he will be highly qualified. You don't allow him to go to school at all throughout his life. He will not get doctorate, don't worry. But if he or she exerts himself or herself, they would be known as great people in whatever profession they take. They would perhaps be more knowledgeable than people with doctorate in that subject. And this would happen. But for that, those persons will have to exert themselves, because the parents have not allowed them to do anything. It doesn't matter. At that age, they might not want to go to a college and learn. I want to generally learn so many languages, and at this age I find it a bit difficult, because nobody would accept that I want to learn those languages. They think that I am a scholar of that language. See, this is my problem. So, but then still what I do is I go on reading literature in those languages and try to upgrade my knowledge of a language. So please remember this. And so my dear friends, I will not take much of your time. I have already tried your patience perhaps. And so in the next lecture we will start from the Kemadruva yoga that one of our subscribers wanted. That is the worst yoga to start with, but doesn't matter. Yoga is a yoga, and I give my opinion about it. Generally the understanding is in Kemadruva yoga, a person is a pauper. You will rarely find that happening. You will find that great people also had Kemadruva yoga. They ended up being kings. So please don't be under that impression. And I'll tell what I think could be the reason. I think in one of the lectures somewhere I have talked about it. Perhaps in Gemini lectures. But if I repeat myself, I am sure you are so supportive subscribers that you will bear with me. And maybe I'll club it with Sunafa Anafa yoga. Then we will go to Veshi and Voshi, and this is the line I propose. I hope you will love it, and it will add to your already great knowledge. So my dear friends, thank you and a very good night.